students, again I welcome you all for the online classes of Triveni Memorial Senior Secondary School. And today, through this video, I am going to discuss about the writing section and which covers notice writing. Now, before starting with the notice writing, let's have a word that what is a notice? Notices are a means of formal communication targeted at a particular person or a group of persons. It is like a news item informing such person or persons of some important event. This can be an invitation to a meeting, an announcement of any event, to issue certain instructions, make appeal, etc. Now let's talk about the format of notice writing. Since notices are a formal document, it should follow a structure or a format. Keep in mind that there is no one correct rigid format. Different formats used by different people, organizations, and can show some variations, but it is ideal to follow a somewhat similar format for ease of understanding and uniformity. Let us look at the most used format of notices. The very first important point while writing notice is name of issuing organization or authority. Write at the very top of your sheet. You print the name of the person or company that is issuing the said notices. This will help the reader identify the notices as important or unimportant to him. Next point is title. When writing notices, we mention a title notice in capital at the top. This helps draw attention to the document. Notices are generally posted at a public place or published in newspapers. It is important that they do not get lost in a sea of information. So, a bold title clearly mentioned helps draw the attention. Next point is date. After the title to the left hand side, we print the date on which the notices have been published. Since this is a formal document, date is an important aspect of it, since these documents stay on record. Next point is heading. Then we move on to an appropriate heading to the notices. This heading should make abundantly clear the purpose of the notices. Now let's talk about the body of notice. After the heading, we write the brief and to the point body of the notice. The main content of the notice features in the body. Writer's name. At the end of the notices, we write the name of the designation of a notice writer. The notices have also been signed by the same person to lend it authority and validity. Notices should cover some important points that are to be communicated to the reader. Let us just go through by the 5 points that the content of the notice will cover. The 5 W's are: the first one, what? What is the notice about? The notice should be clear about what is going to happen, that is the event, or what has already happened, that is the occasion. This is the crux of the message and should be written clearly. There should not be any ambiguity. Where? If the notice is about an event, then the location of such an event must be written clearly. The venue or the location are important details, so make sure to include this in the notice. When? This is a time and the date of the event or meeting. If possible, the duration of the event should also be mentioned to people can schedule their time accordingly. Who? This will be who the notice is addressed to. Who all are supposed to adhere to the notice should be clearly mentioned to avoid confusion. Whom? And final detail should be whom to contact or get in touch with. This mentions who the appropriate authority is to contact. Now students, let's have a talk about the format of notice writing. The points we have already discussed. Now here we go about the format. Now the very first point while writing down the format of notice writing is name of institution or organization. In this, one thing also you are going to add, that is the place. After that, in the next line, in the middle, you have to write down notice. After that, again in the second line, that is the date. And date also having a perfect format, that is date, month, year. Here you can see the example, that is the 1st October 2019. In this way, you have to mention a date in notice writing. After writing down the date, you have to write down heading. And student, make one thing very clear while writing down the heading. You should keep one thing in mind, that heading must be very precise, short and meaningful. After heading, there is a body. Body is completely based on 5 W's. After that, enclosure. In enclosure, the very first thing is the signature. After putting your signature, move on to your name in next line. And finally, your designation. That is the means post of a person. After writing all this thing, you have to enclose your notice in a box. This is the important step of notice writing. Now student, here is one sample of notice writing which makes all the thing clear to you. Now here is a question. You are Asma oblique Ashish, the head girl oblique head boy of XYZ International School. Your school is soon going to publish the annual magazine next month. Write a notice for the notice board of your school inviting students to submit write-ups. Now student, first of all, what do you have to write? Here's something is missing. That very first thing, as I've already told you, you have to write down the name of the institution. That is the XYZ International School. After that, you have to write down notice. In the next line, you have to write down date. After that, the important thing is heading, that is call for submissions. Now then we move on to content, that is based on 5 W's. This is to inform all the students that our school is going to publish its annual magazine next month. All those who wish to contribute can mail their entries to xyzmagazine@gmail.com. Write-ups will be accepted latest by March 30th, 2019. till 11:59 p.m. You can take any topic of your choice. For further information, contact your respective class teachers. Thank you. And here is an enclosure. First, you have to put your signature, then your name and designation. After that, the most important thing is enclose it in a box. Now students, here are few points that you have to keep in your mind while writing notice. Be precise and to the point. The ideal length of notice is 50 words, so precise language is appreciated. It is a formal form of communication, so the language used should be formal as well. No flowery text. Keep the sentences short and use simple words. Since notices are fairly brief, it is best to keep it simple. Use simple language. Use passive voice as far as possible. Present your notices in a proper format in a box. The presentation should be neat and thus be appealing to the eye. That means your handwriting must be very clear. So students, here we finishes with the topic notice writing. Thanks for watching my video. Hope the topic is clear. Thank you.